great to be back at Messy Church with you again today. And later on, after you've heard from Kimberley, I'm going to be showing you how you can turn a paper plate, a piece of card, and some felt tip pens, a split pin, that's one of these coppery coloured things, or a safety pin, not a safety pin, or a paper clip into something that's going to help you avoid temptation. So let's listen to what Kimberley has to say and then we'll get right to it.
Good morning all. My name's Kimberley and I'm going to lead us in our worship this morning. Today we are looking at Psalm 140 in the Old Testament. We use these psalms quite often in church and Bible study, but do you know what a psalm is? They are actually meant to be a song or a hymn, and they're designed to teach us about sacred things. Psalm 140 teaches us to look to God to guide us away from bad things, bad people, and bad actions. There are lots of ways that our focus can be taken off what is right and be tempted to do what is wrong, whether we realise it or not. This psalm encourages us to not be tempted away. I wonder what temptations you face in life. It could be the temptation to gossip, to take something without asking, or even pretend to be poorly to avoid a maths test. I, of course, would never have done such a thing. We see temptation in all sorts of places and situations. For example, in the Disney movie Tangled, the wicked lady is tempted to stay young and beautiful. In The Simpsons, the dad Homer is constantly tempted to eat and drink too much, and the son Bart is tempted to cause trouble at home, school, and even in church. Sadly, I can't show you any of those clips without getting into trouble. You can, however, use this as an excuse to watch a cartoon. Oops, I've just tempted you. See, it's everywhere. So let's say a prayer, then I will play a song, and then my friend Michelle will show you a pretty cool piece of craft which is designed to take you away from temptation to make the right choices. Dear Lord, I want to thank you because you have always been there for me, even when I'm faced with trials and temptations. I don't have enough power on my own, Lord, and I rely on your power to overcome temptation today. Lord, please open my eyes to see and be able to recognise temptation. I also request for the power to flee from the appearance of sin at first sight, even if it is so enticing that it makes it difficult to flee from. Amen. Thanks ever so much for joining me this morning for our worship, and I'm very pleased to hand you over to Michelle. I'll see you soon.
Okay, lovely to see you all back again. So did you listen carefully to what Kimberley had to say? That's good. Right, so what we're going to do is we are going to turn our paper plate into a spinny thing that is going to help us avoid temptation. Okay, so if you can see on my paper plate, on the very inner circle, I've got read the Bible. On the next circle, I've got pray. And then all the way around the outside, I've got some of my favourite things to do. So, sing a song, go for a walk, read a book, pet your dog, cat, rabbit. I don't have any of those, but if I had one, I would. Do a drawing. Oh, I can't read that upside down, that one. Oh, talk to a friend. Okay, so those are just my ideas of things that I might do. So what we're going to use this for is we're going to think about all the good things that we could do that might help us avoid temptation. And of course, we've got pray all the way round because we should be doing that every day anyway, but especially when we're having troubles. And then in the middle as well, because that's really, really important, and that's something that we should be doing every day as well. We've got read the Bible. And around the outside, we've got lots of things that we like to do. Now, you might write different things because you might like doing different things to me, okay? And then if you're tempted to do something that you know you shouldn't really do, then you can go to your spinny thing and you can give it a flick And it's better if you hold it flat, okay? But I'm holding it up straight so you can see. So you can give it a flick and maybe it might land there. And that is pet your cat, dog or rabbit. Okay, so if you're tempted to do something nasty, maybe say something mean to somebody or not do your homework or something that really you know you shouldn't do, okay, you can go to your spinny plate and give it a spin, and that will take your mind off the bad thing, and you can do that. Remembering, of course, that we should be praying every day and we should be reading our Bible every day. So, how are we going to make this? Right, well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a paper plate. Now, if you haven't got a paper plate, that's fine. Use a piece of cardboard and draw a circle. Use something big to draw around, like maybe a bowl or a real plate, okay? And then we need to divide it in half. Now, the easiest way to do this, okay, is to fold it, but don't actually crease down there, okay? Just get the ends together and make a little nick at the top with your fingers and a little nick at the bottom with your fingers, okay? And that will give your markers of where to draw. So I'm going to take my black pen and my ruler, and I'm going to line my ruler up on those two markers that I just made with my finger, and I'm going to draw a line from the top to the bottom of the plate, cutting it right the way through the middle, just like that. And then I'm going to fold it in half the other way and make two little squidges with my finger, pushing it down to make two little markers. And I'm going to put my ruler on each end of the plate where the marker was, and I'm going to draw another line. And you can see that there's a cross in the middle. Okay, so that's 4 sections, but we want more than that. So we're going to draw another one that goes right through the middle and right through the middle the other way. So take your ruler again and make sure that your ruler goes right through the middle of your cross on your plate, and draw one line and then turn it round and make sure your ruler goes right through the middle again. And there you will see you've got all the sections and it's crossed in the middle there. And that cross in the middle there can also remind us about Jesus, can't it? Because Jesus died on the cross. Okay, so next job is to draw some circles. So on the paper plate, you will see that there is a little lip, and that means there's a line all the way around there. And that's going to be our first circle. So I'm going to draw all the way around, really carefully, keeping in as best I can into that fold in the circle. There we go. So we've got one circle, looks a bit like a spider's web, doesn't it? One circle round the edge of the plate there. And then I'm going to use this little pot here to draw my inner circle. So I'm going to put that over the top like that, and I'm going to draw around it to make my inner circle. Now, if you're not very good at this, or you're a bit younger, maybe you could get a grown-up to hold the pot down for you. You can use a cup, a mug, a glass, maybe a jam jar, anything like that. And there you've got your inner circle. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to write, read the Bible and pray. So we're going to write pray in each of these sizes here. And then we're going to write read the Bible in the middle. So I'm just going to write one because I don't need to write it all the way round, because I've got another one to show you. So there we are. So I've written pray in that circle there, and I've started to write read the Bible there. And you can see on my example, look, I've done it all the way around to remind us to pray and read the Bible every day. Then you need to think about all the things that you like to do that might help you to avoid temptation, to take your mind off doing something that you know that you shouldn't do or that God wouldn't like you to do. And then you need to write those all the way round the outside. Now, if you're not very good at writing, again, you could get a grown-up to help you, or you could draw a picture. But I'm not very good at drawing pictures, and if you've seen some of my messy church things before, you'll know I'm not very good at drawing pictures. So I decided to write, okay? But you can draw pictures or write, or even do a mixture of the two. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to make this spinny thing in the middle, okay? So what you need is a piece of card. Now I've got black card because it's just happened to be the colour I had. But it doesn't have to be black, it can be any colour. And then you need to cut a strip about as wide as your finger. Okay, doesn't matter how wide it is, although if it's too wide, it will be a bit tricky to spin, so don't make it too wide, okay? And then what you need to do is you need to put it in the middle of your plate and look how far it goes. Okay, so there it's in the middle of my plate and I want it about that long because I need it to spin. Okay, so I'm going to chop it off at that point there, just like that. So then I've got a piece of card that makes a pointer that's almost to the top of the plate. Now, it's not a very good pointer, is it, with a flat end like that? So we're going to make it pointy. So all you need to do is cut a snip out of one at the top one side and another snip out of the top the other side, and there you see you have a pointy pointer. A pointy pointer. Now we need to make a little hole in the other end, okay? So if you just fold it over gently, get your scissors and literally just give it a little snip like that, then you see when you open it out, when you unfold it, look, you end up with a nice little hole like that. Okay, so then you need to get your split, whoopsie, you need to get your split pin. Now these are little brass coloured things with a pokey bit on the back, but it's actually two pokey bits because you can open them out like that. Oopsie, and that's a split pin. Okay, now if you haven't got any of these at home, it doesn't matter. Or if Mummy or Daddy works in an office, you could ask them if they've got them, or maybe works in a school. I borrowed these from my school, okay? But if you haven't got one, it doesn't matter because we can always get round it, okay? And I'm going to show you how to get round it in a minute. So, what you need to do is get the split pin, keep it closed, and poke it through the middle of your plate. It will make a little hole because they're a bit pointy on the end. So poke it through the middle and then give it a couple of turns, okay, so that you have a little hole like that. Now you do need to give it a couple of turns because if you don't give it a couple of turns, your spinny thing won't spin very well, okay? So then you're going to poke your split pin through your pointer and through your plate, like that. See, it's poking out at the back, and then you're going to open it up to stop it falling back out, okay? So you've opened it out like that. Now, it needs to be open, but don't squish it down too hard because again, your spinny thing won't spin, okay? And there we have our temptation spinner, and it will spin around. Now you can see mine isn't spinning very well at the moment. That's because it's a bit tight. So I'm just going to give it a squidge around. Okay, and there we are. You see it spins much better, but it's much better on a flat surface, obviously. Okay, so now what did I say? I said you could use a paper clip, didn't I? So here's one that I did earlier, and all I did was I took a paper clip and I opened it out a little bit. I only opened one end, look, still got a curly bit on one end, and I poked that through the plate instead of the split pin and folded it over at the back, and that makes a spinny thing as well. Now, if you haven't got a split pin and you haven't got a paper clip, what could you do? You could still do this, because all you need to do is make this. Don't need to make this the pointer, and then you can just close your eyes and go, bump, and it comes on, draw a picture. Okay, so there is nobody that can't make one of these, nobody that can't be helped to avoid temptation. And don't forget the important bits in the middle, praying and read your Bible. Hope you've enjoyed that, and I really look forward to seeing your spinny temptation avoiding plates. If you can get them uploaded onto the website underneath the video, that would be fantastic. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Bye.
Temptation has overtaken you, except what is coming to mankind. And God is faithful, He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, you know what's gonna happen. But when you are tempted, let's shout it out. He will also provide a way out. He will also provide a way out, so that you can endure it, so you can endure it, so you can endure it. No temptation has overtaken you, except what is coming to mankind. And God is faithful, He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, you know what's gonna happen. But when you are tempted, let's shout it out. He will also provide a way out. He will also provide a way out. He will also provide